Good Saturday morning, guys, and welcome to another episode of Exit Strategies Radio Show. Y'all know who I am. Do you know who you are? You know whose you are. Yeah, you do. Hey, I'm Coleman J. Millett, broker and owner of Exit Realty Low Country Group in beautiful. Yes. No, Charleston, South Carolina. Y'all like how I do that thing, ain't it? So, guys, look, we have an extra special show set for you today. Guys, we're always working to bring you, quote unquote, the best. Most important, we always try to be latest and greatest. And I'm very big on that, guys. I tell people, that, as a person, I am huge on technology. I like things that are on the cutting edge. I'm usually fairly close to it, enough that the breeze from the blade will fan me, but not necessarily close enough where I get whacked by it. So today we are very fortunate to have joining us today, none other than Dominick Antonino over at Family First Funding. So, Dominick, how are you doing this morning?
I am excited to be here, Corin. This is a great opportunity. I thank you for allowing me to be part of it. I'm excited. You said learning. You said, giving people knowledge. Those are the things that kind of got me here in the first place. I'm excited about this. This is great.
Awesome. So, Dom. So, look, everybody needs a Dom, like the guy, right? Dominick is the guy. So, Dom, tell us a little bit about yourself, about what got you into mortgage lending, and most importantly, what got you over at Family First Funding.
My youngest daughter was looking at schools down here in 2015, 2016. So I needed to check a couple of boxes. At this point in my life, I had a 25-year career on Wall Street. If you remember correctly, right after the pandemic started, the Fed lowers rates to zero.
Yep.
I traded that rate between banks for 25 years, and I knew instantly that was not the truth. Fed lowered rates to zero was fine, but it had nothing to do with mortgage rates. So that was one of the things that attracted me to this. My clients were Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and all the big banks that I kind of do business with now on the lending side, but they were my clients, and basically I brokered loans between them. I wanted to put that financial expertise, that financial toolkit I put together into something where I could kind of help people out, get where they want to be. And I was looking for something to do. Honestly, I Googled MLO and I realized what it was, made a phone call, connected with David Stein. And I've been with David for going on 5 years. I will never work for someone not named David Stein. I'm probably shooting myself in the foot right now, but he's just a mentor like no one else, friend like no one else. And there's not a guy I've met in this business that knows more about mortgages, mortgage financing, the structure, the guidelines than this person. So I'm in the best spot possible, which I think puts my clients in the best spot possible. But I'm looking forward to getting out a little bit more, doing a little bit more of this type of thing in person. And again, trying to educate. You know better than anyone, we're in a market right now where knowledge is even more key than ever about loan programs, about strategies, about programs, about what it takes to get into the house. I'm enjoying partnering with agents who are trying to get their folks where they want to be. A lot of people want to come here. A lot of people want to come down here.
So Dave is one of those people that you know him, you eventually love him, and in turn, you definitely want to always be associated with them in proximity to him. So I know you're in a great place. Dave, matter of fact, I've been on his show. I know he used to host a radio show.
He told me that, yep.
Exactly. And great guy, very personable, like you said, very knowledgeable, by all means. And, Family First Funding is a great partner. So, we enjoy, the opportunity to work with you guys whenever we can. So by all means, you are definitely in a great place, and you definitely got the knowledge, man. So you're getting it from quote unquote the well and the source. And so let me bring this around. So for our listeners, and I want to get to this early because it may run us a while because, you guys are always cutting edge. That's something I always liked about Family First. You guys identify a problem in the market that you guys can then work on a solution. A lot of lenders, don't do that. Everybody want to do the same cookie cutter. This. It's the same loan. It's the same thing all the time. But in today's climate, buyers are extremely challenged trying to compete for homes. So what does that look like? And then number two, what is something that you guys do or offer that can help combat that?
I think my favorite client to deal with is, as soon as I hear first-time home buyer, I get excited. Because I start talking about the pain that they have in their chest right here. And I feel it too. I mean, it's tough talking about some of these things. So first-time homebuyers have questions galore, and I'm happy to answer them all. My goal with everyone that I meet is, if we cannot go now, I'm going to give you a plan for when we can, whether that's some sort of credit enhancement. Hey, we got to get our scores up. Here's a little simulation on how you can get there. We need more income. Is there someone who can co-sign for you? We need a little bit more money to put down. Is there someone who can gift you? Counseled someone, I looked up the guidelines, and his employer was an eligible gifter, an eligible donor. So he went to his boss, asked for some money, and he gave it to him. And we closed it. I couldn't believe it that his boss said yes. He's been working with him for 20 years. There's no way he was going to say no.
Exactly.
But, I think that's one thing I think that sets me apart. It's never no. This is what I can do. If you can do that, then we're moving forward. If you can't, then here's the steps we can take to get you there. We see that a lot with first-time home buyers. They don't know what they don't know. What I like about our company, and like I said, in an effort to address that, is we have way more programs than we'd like to admit. There's a standing structure. We can probably finance it. All right. There's very few people that we can. We can get down to a 500 on an FHA loan. Okay.
Wow.
Is that easy? No. You got to have 10% down. You got to have a whole bunch of reserves. But the point is, there's an outlet. There's a place we can turn to, if it makes sense, to do that. We do a lot of outside the box loans. I am not a vanilla lender. I'm not that 720 score with 20% down. A lot of the bigger box banks, that's all they're looking for these days. We have bank statement loans if you're self-employed. If you're self-employed, bring it, because we've got half a dozen different things we could look at. Credit challenged, like I said, we have opportunities to go a little lower than a lot of our competitors. Investment property products. I'm trying to push that now with so little inventory on the residential side. I keep telling agents, hey, you've got a list of clients who love Charleston. Call them all up and say, hey, listen, if you love it that much, let's go buy an investment property. Let's get a second home going someplace up the coast. Because they've already got that client in their database. They don't need to go find that person.
That's true.
We've also got some tools on the agent side that one of the first things Dave told me, he says, don't walk into anybody's office with your hand out looking for a loan. Walk into the office with some value.
There you go. Here's
what we do. Here's how I can help you make more money. So we've got someone that we work with. His name is Jeff Lobb. He is a real estate person. He talks your language, not mine.
That's fair.
We've gotten him in front of some big groups, and that's a value add that I don't see anybody else bringing. So not just to the buyer side, but to the agent side. So
let me bring you back to, so you touched on, I know one of the things that we're talking about, quote unquote, behind the curtain before we, came to broadcast. And I won't have you delve too far into it now, but I want to, kind of cue you up for this newer program that you guys are in the process of releasing. But I want to also because this is something that, a lot of self-employed people struggle with trying to finance a home, and self-employed, if you as a listener, if you, are a barber, truck driver, have your own truck, obviously, but, if you're, pay, quote unquote, pay your own freight, beauticians, cosmetologists, stylists, makeup artists, them MUAs, man, they out here killing right now. So if you're any of those particular people and quote unquote, you pay your own freight, there's options on financing. So Dominick, you have options to help people like that who don't fit the traditional bank mold, right?
Absolutely. We've got partners, investors that we work with. One of them has a no ratio loan, right? I don't ask any income questions. I don't collect any income documentation. I check your credit just to make sure that you're above 720, which allows you to put 20% down. And then everything, that's it. As long as you can show that you got the 20% in the bank, you're approved. So if you are self-employed and write off a lot of your income, which is the right thing to do as a self-employed person, this loan is perfect for you. The rates are higher. It's a no-income loan. But the same company also offers an asset qualifier. If you've got a bunch of money in the bank, like, again, are self-employed, if you've got 125% in eligible assets, 125% of the amount of money you wish to mortgage, you're approved.
That's
720 score, 20% down. And then this same outfit has great rates on bank statement programs. Okay, I closed the guy right before Christmas at 3.7 on a bank statement loan. Now, again, that's before
good.
A lot of this stuff went up.
Yeah.
But the point is that loan was perfect for him because he's, like you said, he's a truck driver. Declares very little money on his tax returns, but brings in some size dollars into his business bank account straight from I'll call it the vendor that he drives for. Program was made for him. Those rates are great rates. I'll say this as well. The same company offers a 25% reduction in the interest rate for African American and Hispanic borrowers. Yeah, this is something I wanted to talk about. On all their programs, because they have a bucket of money that is community development funding, and they have to push that out to the community, and it's part of their mission to get this out into the community. So something we can drill down on a little bit more on another session, but a great opportunity for folks who don't fit the box that some of the big banks are offering.
That's fair, very fair. Well, Dominick, if you could hold tight right there, guys, listeners, this is a great place for us to kind of plug in, quote unquote, our break, give a little word to our sponsors, etc. So, guys, if you would just hold tight, sit tight, flip the flapjack, and we'll be right back.
Congratulations to our Exit Realty Low Country Group's Realtor of the Week. That is none other than Big Gino Cohen. You can reach Gino at 843-530-1073 or text Gino, that's Geno, to 85377 to receive Gino's contact information. You all give Big Gino a holler out.
Guys, we are back. Second segment, Exit Strategies Radio Show. Y'all know who y'all listening to, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Coleman J. Millett, broker and owner of Exit Realty Low Country Group in beautiful North Charleston, South Carolina. Hey, for our listeners, guys, look, y'all are everywhere now, but we always got to give, homage to those that have been faithful, listening to us from day one, all the way from Monkey's Corner, all the way through West Ashley. Got to give a shout out to Flo and Mac over at Prime Cuts. Guys, got to give a shout out to my barber P. Yeah, that dude keeps this thing here right here and this beard here right over it against the grain, guys, in North Charleston. When I actually frustrate. Got to give a shout out to Pastor and Elder Vanderbilt, Mr. and Mrs. Vanderbilt Evans Sr. Again, I got to put that senior on that thing. And guys, look here, I also got to give a shout out to Pastors Tron and Tarnisha Jackson, guys, up in Monkey's Corner. Guys, y'all listen, y'all tune in faithfully. Thank y'all so much for what y'all do, not only by tuning into the show, but most importantly for what you do in the community to help and empower people. That's what this thing here is about. So, guys, look, today we have with us Dominick Antonino from Family First Funding. He's our mortgage partner. He's been dropping some jewels today. So, listeners, look, let's get back into this thing. Because, Dom, thank you again so much for joining us today.
I'm happy to be here. I feel like this is an opportunity, like you said, to share. A knowledgeable client, a knowledgeable borrower is a powerful person, is a powerful buyer. So let's just give them all the information they want and more.
Good deal.
And that's what we're doing here today.
Before the break, you were hitting us with this particular lending program that you guys do. And they actually have an emphasis, you were saying, on diverse buyers. Is that the case? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, you could describe diverse in a couple of different ways. From a banking perspective, there's what we call the A buyer. Great credit, great money down, great income, all that stuff. All right. We here have programs for folks who don't necessarily fit into that box.
Okay.
Bank statement programs, debt service loans, where it's not about the borrower so much as it is about the property. We've got asset qualifier loans where we'll look at the big bucket of money that maybe you were left by a family member who passed, but you're self-employed and don't show anything. Well, now that asset will qualify you for a mortgage. And then in particular, some of the investors that we use are offering discounts on rates up to 0.25% in one instance that I'm thinking of for our African-American and Hispanic Latino community. They are compelled to put money out into the community by virtue of where they're getting this money from. So again, a great program for the right borrowers. So awesome. Together we can go seek those folks out. The issue I come up with a lot is folks don't know what they don't know. You can do that thing. Yeah, I can do that thing. I know it. Okay. Let's go find those guys, Gordon. Let's go find those people.
We'll do. Our listeners, guys, look, if this is you, somebody that you know, look, you need to reach out. So, Dominick, I didn't get it in the first segment, so I got to make sure we get it now. How can our listeners get in contact with you?
Well, I am on Instagram at the Foodie Lender.
The Foodie
because
Lender.
I like to take pictures of things I eat, and my daughter said that makes me authentic. I said it just makes me look like a big guy who likes to eat. But it is part of who I am. I grew up in an Italian household where I cooked a lot, and so I kind of went with that. My daughter thinks I'm not posting enough content, but my email is DOM for Dominick at FAM1Fund, FAM, the numeral 1, fund.com. And my phone number, I'll gladly provide my phone number if you think that's appropriate.
Yes, please.
Do not fear the Jersey area code. Okay? I'm here. I'm in Charleston. Corwin knows this. But my phone is 732-859-6489. And I can reach out via text, via email, via phone call, whatever works for you. And then we'll get you started on the application process. Answer all your questions. Take that stress away that's in your chest.
That tightness, right? The tightness is coming in right here.
So why is he asking me about my FICO score? I asked that first. Let's get that out of the way. Because, that's the thing. And what's interesting, Corwin, is, you get into a conversation with a borrower and you know what's stressful to them. Oh, my credit score. I can help you with that. Yeah. And the minute you say that, you can almost feel them just go, let's talk about income next. Oh, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And now you're off to kind of things that are easier to talk about. But, I'm not a licensed credit expert, but there's some things that you kind of become aware of in this industry. It's simple. If you've got high balances on your credit cards, pay them down. Your score pops overnight when you do that. Overnight. And that's not anything I'm doing for you. You're doing that. But the people don't know that is something that can impact your score instantly. You go from not being approvable or approvable at a high rate, or maybe you have to pay for that rate to become a stronger borrower with a higher score and a lower rate. So I want to reiterate, I said this at the beginning, if we can't go now, my thing is to provide a plan for when you can. That endears me to agents, and it endears your clients to you as an agent. You got to call Corwin. He's got a guy he put me on a plan, and he's telling me in 3-6 months I'll be good to go. You got to call Corwin, because Corwin's got this person that kind of thing. I'm here to, like Dave taught me, don't come in with your hand out. Come in with your hand full. So
it's always about providing value and helping. I appreciate that. That's something, and it's interesting. But I've known David for a number of years. And my first interaction with him, I felt that it was legitimate as far as, okay, I want to help people. Granted, this is the business or industry that we decided to work in, if you will, but the ministry still exists in that of helping people. And in turn, when you're fortunate to find someone to work alongside you, such as you, who has the same thought process of we want to help and we want to serve people, the people that are being missed, that the underserved, like you said, everybody goes after and wants the person that's got, and there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. If you're a listener and you have a 750, credit score, and you want to buy a house or 800 credit score, hey, we'll serve you. Yes, we'll help you. But at the same time, we also want to help that person who has a less than perfect situation maybe it came about because of, a messy divorce. Maybe they got injured at work and out of work for a time period. COVID, anything. Exactly all those things
Change the game.
that created setbacks. Now here it is that, you guys have programs to help people bridge it, to bridge from the setback to get back on track. That is awesome. That's awesome.
You kept using the words service and serve. This is a word that has been coming up a lot lately for me. I spent part of my business plan this year was to put time on my calendar where I could turn my phone off and serve. So I joined a couple of organizations. I learned that thing in my dad's coffee shop in Brooklyn, right? My dad had a little place with my uncle, and my mom used to kick us out because she couldn't deal with us. So by 10 years old, I'm serving coffee. There was only one kind of milk, actually two kinds of milk back then, regular and skim. But I realized that I enjoyed handing someone 2 light and sweet coffees and a buttered corn muffin. And I was probably one of the first people they interacted with at 6:30 a.m. They got off the subway in Brooklyn, and it kind of put a smile on their face. And I was like, that feels pretty good to me. Mm-hmm. I carried that through in high school, service organizations, through in college, and now I'm back in this business, right? So business.
Yeah.
There's opportunities here to serve people who need help. And that is one of the things that is driving me, is this opportunity to serve. Like I said, can't go now. We're going to give you a plan to go. But service has always been very, very important to me. I'm ecstatic. I'm happy that I'm in an industry right now where I can live it.
That's fair. And it's real. One of the things I did, prior to us engaging today, I was with a client, and I won't go too far, Dominic, but nonetheless, there are times, and those of you who listen to this show, listening to this and hearing this in your spirit, there are times when you have to walk a thing. We miss that. There's sometimes when you got to walk it. You got to walk this thing here out in order to claim what it is that you believe that you're supposed to have. And, oftentimes we get away from that. See, the service thing is a faith walk, because we serve people with a hope that they will be empowered and they in turn will serve someone else. You follow me? There is a walk in this thing. And again, guys, for you who are looking to purchase a home, somebody may have turned on the radio today or ran across, our podcast, went to our website or wherever they got it from, just by happenstance, and may need to hear this, because you guys have the opportunity to still have hope. Society is taking it away from everybody, but we don't believe that, because we still get up every day in and day out, and serve people. So Dominic, we're getting to the end of today's show, and I obviously I don't want to go too far, but we're definitely going to get you back on, because we're going to delve in. You guys got a new product that's being released in the next few days.
Yes.
Yeah. So give me a teaser, if you could.
We have a program. We're turning qualified borrowers into cash buyers. Now, there's a few programs out there that offer that capacity. Ours is different. We are pre-approving, pre-underwriting the borrower. Once the property's been identified, we have the ability to get a very ballpark idea of what that property will appraise for. Mm-hmm. Okay? Once we've got all that information, hand you a letter that says you're a cash buyer. That's the piece awesome. I'm trying to figure out. We haven't seen that document yet, but basically, foreign income, assets, credit, employment, all that stuff pre-vetted. Now you're out shopping. You found a house in North Charleston, 450, whatever it is. Yeah, give me the address. We do what's we're calling it an AVM, automated valuation model. And we spin back around and come right back to you and say, hey, listen, this house, according to what we think our modeling, is going to appraise at 430. Right? Mm-hmm. But you want to go in at 450. Fine. If you've got the money to make up that difference in your assets, we can give you the pre-approval or the cash offer letter.
Cash
offer letter to say you can go to 450.
That's awesome.
So it's not for everyone. We got a 15 down 15% down tier and a 20% down tier based on FICO.
Okay.
But if it makes sense, we can take some of that, and you want to bridge the gap between purchase and appraisal, we can take some of that down payment money and put that towards that gap. So we're not looking to buy homes and then rent them to people as some of those other programs are. We don't want to buy homes. So we're going to do all our homework pre and make sure that at closing, that buyer is signing themselves.
That's awesome.
You know, we're going to start out with family first being on the contract. We'll get into those details later.
Yeah.
Family first and the buyer, and then we'll take ourselves out when we've got everything vetted. But it allows you to go in as a cash buyer. The next program that's coming out in a month or so will be the one where buy before you sell. We're going to roll that one out in another month or so. We're going to see how this one goes.
So one more time for our listeners, as we wrap up, Dominick, please give your contact information to our listeners one more time.
Reach out to me directly on my personal cell. I give everyone my cell phone. It's 732-859-6489. Again, 732-859-6489. I'm right here in Mount Pleasant, right over here by Whole Foods. I'm local. Come in and see me. I'm in my office as much as I can. I'm not trying out. When I'm not out there trying to make more possible. So
awesome. Well, Dominick, thank you so much today for being a part of this show, and most importantly, for your commitment to being a part of the Exit Strategies Radio Show family. To our listeners, guys, thank you so much for listening today. Trustfully, you got some very useful, some very good information. Most importantly, don't just take it. Don't take just the information and do nothing with it. Please apply it. Exit is an action word. I had this conversation as a reminder today, not only to myself, but as a reminder to the people that I were with. Our show, based off of Exit, Exit Us, the book of Exodus, people moving. That's what we do. We move people here. We move you in mind. We move you in spirit. And trustfully, when those things align, we will move you physically. Guys, we love you. We love you. We love you. And we're going to see you guys out there in those streets.
Guys, that was a great show today, and we thank you so much for taking the time to listen to Exit Strategies Radio Show. My name is Corwin J. Millett. Yes, that is me. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in for today's episode. Exit Strategies is my baby. It is how I give back to our community. It is how I foster goodwill, spread good news, and trustfully help you get great results. Guys, as I always say to you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And we're going to see you guys out there in the streets.